Well, early naval operations included the conquest of the Maldives and parts of Sri Lanka. These campaigns helped establish Chola dominance over the Indian Ocean and the routes and secured maritime trade interest as well. The most notable of the Chola naval expeditions were directed towards Southeast Asia, and the Chola Empire conducted extensive campaigns in the region targeting the kingdoms of Srivijaya and other maritime states around 1025 CE. Rajendra Chola I launched a major naval expedition against the Srivijaya Empire, which controlled much of the modern-day Indonesia and Malaysia. The Chola fleet, consisting of a large number of warships, navigated the complex sea routes to reach the Srivijaya capital of Palembang. The successful campaigns helped the Cholas to establish a temporary maritime hegemony in Southeast Asia. We have with us Vedveer Arya, historian, to help us understand how India was a pioneer in naval fleet during the Chola dynasty and how it helped when it came to expanding its empire. Vedveer Arya, appreciate you joining us. Well, once again, it's time for you to illuminate us that, centuries ago, there were dynasties, there were empires hailing out of India, which understood naval routes, they understood the capacity of the sea, and they understood that, dominance not only within India, but outside of India on foreign lands was a true way, the true essence of, consolidating power.
Yes, especially the southern peninsula, this was the hub for the sea trade since ancient times. During the time of Cholas and if you say Chalukyas, Cholas, then Vijayanagara, the South India contributed a lot to the wealth of India. Actually, after Guptas, North India was mostly disturbed. It is the South India that contributed the wealth to nation. This was the reason why in 17th or 18th century, when actually the economists have estimated that India used to contribute 23 to 25% of the world GDP, that actually came from South India. It's not just Mughals contributed, it is generally the kind of a wrong narrative is being told to
us. Was it also Bengal and its textiles, sir, that were
It's mostly the South India. The sea trade used to contribute because Indians discovered the navigation. It is actually Pliny also writes in his book that somewhere in the December, when the monsoon used to return, this was the right time to travel towards the west, to the Red Sea, Egypt, and the Arabs, probably somewhere in the Africa also. So this was the westwards, the sea trade used to go. Then they used to return when southwest monsoons used to return somewhere in the May, June, July. These were the months. This within 6-7 months was very ideal to go towards Wordsworth and come back. And the same sea winds they used to use when the southwest monsoon, somewhere June, July, they used to travel towards the Southeast Asia and the China. Then they used to come back somewhere in the November, December. This is how the Indians mastered the sea trade, and especially the using this navigation and skills using the natural wind patterns. So this contributed a lot to the nation. Apart from that, Indians actually nurtured, especially Chola dynasty. The Indians had a lot of skills in metallurgy, in well-known in textiles, and a lot of other commodities like pepper and a lot of spices and other. So this has contributed a lot, and sometimes Romans used to pay to Indian textiles almost the weight equal to gold. So this was the reason why India flourished a lot. Since during the sea trade, the Arabs became middlemen to the West. That's why the Europeans started discovering India. They wanted to have a direct trade instead of through middlemen. So this is how Vasco da Gama landed somewhere in the May 1498. Following an Indian trader, the biggest ship, what he has seen actually, the Indian ship was 3 times bigger than what the ship the Vasco da Gama was traveling. So Indians built massive ships. Even Fahian mentions about it. So this was the South Indian, especially Cholas. They have actually laid a strong foundation for the sea trade, and finally Vijayanagara encashed over it. This is how Indian wealth was created by this great dynasty called Cholas.
Right, and Vedvir Arya, India when it was found and discovered by the British, had a considerable GDP. We were replete with natural resources. We had a good repository of precious metals and gems as well. Considering that the Chola Empire was, progressive to say the least, what kind of contribution did they have in making India, one of the richest nations in the world at that time?
Especially the what I already told us about the trade. Apart from that, there's no special stones and other things. These were not mainly we have a lot of resources from the western side also, like Afghanistan, Pakistan. In very ancient times, we had great resources from that side. In the South India also, mostly we contributed to the commodities as well as the skill-based products. Mostly the metallurgy, because the wood seal, that was actually the South Indian great contribution. That steel. Actually, we were the I think only one biggest exporter of steel during that time. And the textiles is well known, and apart from the spice trade is well known. So we used to get a lot of because the diamonds, whatever we got, it is actually we have brought from the African side and especially the Srivijaya Empire. They had a better mines of gold, because that was known as Suvarna Bhumi. So India got gold from outside, even the diamonds and others. But we used to give much better products than world ever had. So the best, the craftsmen, the products having the better skills. It is actually the South India had that tradition, because father-son tradition, the India traditionally followed. Father used to transfer his skill to son. This is how we manage the skill management. And this was nurtured by the South Indian kings, and Cholas did that one to ensure that the skills are managed better, because you have to be best in the world whenever you are trading. So maintaining that better skills, the Cholas actually dominated over the sea trade, actually world trade, and we contributed more than, I don't know what at that time during the Chola period, most probably we have contributed maybe 35% to 40% of the world GDP. That later reduced to some way.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.